gimmick that a lot of people were actually very impressed with, because we've seen like later in the years that when Bubba went and had his like little single run in TNA and Impact, a lot of people were kind of comparing it to the Reverend gimmick, saying that had the people been behind him, maybe Devon could have been, one of the best singles runs of his career at the time.
Well, I always say this: Bubba had a great run in TNA as a singles competitor, but you have to put in perspective that Bubba was allowed to call his own shots in TNA.
Right.
There was nobody there to stop him from, being Bully Ray.
Correct.
And with that being said, could he do that in WWE? See, that's the thing. So TNA, okay. And I don't like to take anything away from Bubba, because again, Bubba did a great job.
Sure.
But at the same token, Bubba was also in the office at the time, and he was also, very close to Vince Russo. Right. So his ideas and what he wanted to be done with the Bully Ray character, he was able to do that. Now the question is, would he have been able to do that in the World Wrestling Entertainment in WWE? That's the question.
And I think that's where we see a lot of this discrepancies, or wrestlers jumping promotions. As you know, the culture in the industry is changing. For a while we didn't have a second promotion that was giving wrestlers a chance, and kind of a little bit of freedom of what we call creatives. And so do you think, all the chit chat about wrestlers not having creative control in the WWE to the extent that they would like to have it, do you believe in that, or do you think the culture is changing and they're transitioning to that phase?
Well, that has been something that has been expressed by different wrestlers over the years, different eras, different generation. You have the Attitude Era, where a lot of guys did not have creative control unless you were in WCW.
Mm-hmm.
And, like we all knew that they had a lot of people over there had creative control. During the Hogan and Andre era, Hogan definitely had creative control because he was the Babe Ruth at that time.
Correct.
Of pro wrestling. So he had the right to have creative control.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at it nowadays, who has that same type of run or stigma like Hulk Hogan, or like Ric Flair, or like The Rock or Stone Cold Steve Austin, that could actually call their own shots? And Vince trusts them enough to say, okay, what's your idea? Okay, we'll do it this way. We'll do it your way. You have to really, really convince Vince that you know what you're doing and you know what you're saying, because so many people have said that to him and bombed.
Right, for sure, absolutely.
Yeah, so I can't blame the man for not having the structure the way he did. Listen, if WCW would have had the same structure that the WWE had, if the WCW would have had a Vince McMahon, WCW would have still been around. I firmly believe that. Too many cooks in the kitchen in WCW. Right. And again, I don't have to go on and say, we all know, because we all seen the rise and fall of WCW, and we all know what went on. We all know what went on back then, but it was too many cooks running the kitchen. So my opinion, if Bischoff would have ran his ship like a Vince McMahon, or someone would have came in like Vince McMahon and really nailed everything down, WCW probably would have still been around. Time Warner would not have lost so much money, where they would have been eager to, keep renewing the contracts with pro wrestling.